Hello everybody, and welcome to another Dakman Productions video. Today we are going to talk about refrigerated cars. More specifically, modern day, or close to modern day, refrigerated cars. I see guys who run these modern trains, and then they're running a woodside reefer within that modern train, or an ice hatch reefer in that modern train. Yeah, it's your railroad, you can run it the way you want, but to me, in my own opinion, it just doesn't look right. I mean, you're not going to see an ice hatch reefer being pulled by a CSX-9. I'm sorry, it's not happening. But you will see these two particular pieces, which we are going to go over today. So what we have here is a Lionel Standard L in the front, and in the back track, back here, we have a Weaver, and that's a Ultraline, the Weaver Ultraline. Now Weaver is no longer in business, but I'm still going to go over that, and you'll see why a little bit later in the video. The MTH people are probably going to hate me for this, but you do not see an MTH Premier refrigerated car in this review. And the reason for that is because MTH can't seem to make a modern day, or close to modern day, refrigerated car. They just basically took a 50-foot box car and they're calling it the refrigerated car. And to me, they need to go back to the drawing board. Now don't get me wrong, MTH Premier is a nice line. They do make a lot of great rolling stock. It's just that they cannot seem to make a nice refrigerated car other than the Woodside refrigerated car. That is a nice piece, but other than that, I don't care for the other MTH Premier refrigerated cars. So getting back to the actual review, let's take a look at the Weaver Ultraline first. So what we have here is this is the Weaver Ultraline. Weaver is no longer in business, but the reason why I'm showing you this is because Lionel actually bought the Weaver mold, the mold for this particular refrigerated car. It's due to come out this year on the Lionel Lion Scale lineup. It's already been delayed a couple times. It was supposed to be out by the end of 2017. Supposedly sometime this year they'll be out. So they'll be producing the same refrigerated car on the Lion Scale. But this is the Weaver Ultraline. And the reason why I'm reviewing this as a modern day refrigerated car is because they actually made this, Weaver actually made this as a 57-foot mechanical reefer. Now on the other side, just like a real mechanical reefer, there's an engine which drives a compressor which keeps the load inside cold. So the 57-foot mechanical reefer actually had a 4-cylinder Detroit diesel, if I remember correctly. It was actually a 4-53 53 series, and they might have replaced them over the years, but that's what a lot of them were originally equipped with. But anyway, it would drive a compressor, and which would keep the load cold. And of course, there's your diesel fuel tank, So you would load up diesel fuel in here. And these cars ran up to about, I would say, maybe 10 years ago. And these are actually being replaced by a Trinity refrigerated car. And so far, only I think BLMA has made the Trinity refrigerated car, and scale. I don't know if they made a HO version yet, but hopefully something like that would hit O scale. That would be like the ultimate modern day refrigerated car. But getting back to the mechanical refrigerator, this would be something correct that you would see behind a Dash 9 or an SD80. There's not a whole lot of refrigerated cars left on railroads, but there was quite a bit of refrigerated cars back in the 50s and 60s. The refrigeration on rails have really suffered, but sort of getting off topic. Anyway, the Weaver car, the undercarriage is not too bad actually for what it is. The doors on both sides do not function, they do not open. So this does not have an opening door. And like I said, the Weaver car does have an access door, so you can actually see the engine inside. The Weaver cars, some of the early versions came with plastic trucks. A lot of people will upgrade them to Lionel. Then later on, they became die-cast. This particular Weaver car does have die-cast trucks on it. Now on the bottom of the Weaver, you'll see speaker holes. Well, the Weaver 57-foot refrigerator car was actually had an option to have sound in it. And I will show you one in action later at the end of the video. The graphics are pretty good. Again, for what it is. And these were pretty reasonable back when they were being manufactured. So, if you were running a modern day or a train that's within 10 years of this time period, or even 20 years, this is what you would want to run and look better than an ice hatch reefer. Even on an SD40 you wouldn't see that. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and review the Lionel version. Once again, this is a Lionel 57-foot mechanical reefer. This is to scale, 57-foot scale length. So this is true 148 scale, 57-foot mechanical reefer. And so is a reefer, actually. The Lionel version does have, let me see if I get, yep, rotating wheel bearing caps on the trucks. So that's a nice feature. Unlike the Weaver, the Lionel has a mesh grate, and you can actually see the air compressor inside. So that's the air compressor unit, or AC unit, which keeps the load cold inside. We're going to swap this around. And just like the Weaver, there's an engine inside that you can see. And here's your access door for it. So this door opens. There's the engine. The Lionel version does feature opening doors. They're a little bit of a pain to open, so how I got this open, I'm thinking you can see it, but I gently pulled out. You gotta pull out on this and slide it open, so maybe I can show you on this other one how I did it. So what I did is I took this, and you can see It is a pain. There you go. You've got to sort of pull and push at the same time, and it opens. But the door does open. Same thing. It has a fuel tank for the diesel fuel. The Lionel does feature die-cast trucks and die-cast couplers. Here's the undercarriage of the Lionel. It has just a little bit more detail, as you see. I like the vents. This is extra ventilation to keep the engine cool, and all the fine detailing. I mean, it's really crisp. And again, this is to scale. 57 foot in scale length. These will go around a 42 curve with no problem, I'm sure. I run mine on 054. The Lionel version seems to be a little bit heavier than the Weaver. So if you decide that you want to have true modern day refrigerated cars, or as modern as you can, you're going to want to go with these 57 foot mechanical refrigerated cars. And I hate to repeat myself, but I'll say it just one more time. They're not running ice hatch reefers today. They're running mechanical. Well, the mechanical reefers are being phased out as well, but up until 10 years ago, for the last 20 years, they were running mechanical reefers, at least from the early 60s on up. And I would recommend either the Lionel or finding a Weaver version. Like I said, Lionel is coming out with another version called the Lion Scale, which is nothing more than the old Weaver mold, and those will be a little bit more reasonable in price than the regular Lionel version. So I'm going to show you a Weaver car with sounds in it. Okay, here we have a Weaver Ultraline 57 foot mechanical reefer. This one's actually equipped with sounds, so I'm going to operate the sounds, and as I do, if you look in this engine compartment, you will actually see lights which will indicate the reefer will run. Then it will actually light another light as if it was cooling the car down, and then it will light a different light for standby mode. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so it continues that sequence over and over and over again until you turn it off. So I'm going to see if I can get a close-up. So that's pretty much standby mode, meaning that the inside is cooling off. So that's the Weaver ultraline mechanical reefer with the sounds. Basic sounds. Once the Lionel Lion Scale version comes out, I will review that. And until then, thanks for watching Dackman Productions.